Hello, friends. Welcome to People Are Interesting, an audio journal hosted by me, Jan K, as a record of people who inspired me and of topics that I found intriguing over time. Enjoy and thank you for joining the club. Alright, let's do it. So, the overview of last week. On Monday morning, I went to a Muay Thai class, and it was one of the first ones I've done. So basically, I've been boxing for the last few years quite regularly, but I was curious to what the comparison is like really, because the distancing will be quite different if you can use your legs, and essentially it was pretty good, but I fucking got kicked on the liver and on my bladder. So sometimes you just meet those guys when you spar with them. It was fun. Like, it was a fun kick. Like, no harm done. But I definitely need to be more on point, to be completely fair. And yeah, it's interesting because a lot of if you're boxing, then obviously your hands are really good. Whereas Muay Thai, I think you're a bit more well-rounded because you can use knees, you can use elbows, and there's clinch work as well. So I feel like it seems like it has more dimensions to it. So that's why I liked it. And I don't know, it improves coordination, and it just looks pretty damn cool. Not to say that boxing doesn't look cool, because they both are, but I don't know. I kind of like, once I got into boxing, now I'm interested in learning more about other martial arts. And so I've done a wrestling class, and that was really good. I like the kind of like the vibe of the gym room, all just vapor everywhere. Fucking guys sweat. The floor is, the mats are kind of like a bit damp, and it's just all the vapor on all the windows. Like, I don't know, it's like a kind of, in situations like this, it's not exactly comfortable, I would say, if you're used to, like, it's as hygienic as it can be because they clean the mats and everything, but it is like, 30 people in a relatively small room. So I've done a couple of drills, and it's very interesting because if you do a sport and you get, let's say, as an amateur, like, you will develop some basic competence, then you build a little bit of confidence, and then workouts kind of get easy in a sense. So for example, that's what I had with boxing, where I kind of know the rhythm of each class. I kind of like, the drills. I understand what it is that we're trying to do. I focus on my speed, on my accuracy of my punches, on slipping, on footwork. Like, I kind of understand what there is to learn. Whereas when I'm doing a new discipline, I'm like, damn, I have no clue. Like, my body doesn't work as smoothly, obviously. Like, I feel a bit awkward, and I don't know, I feel like it's a really good learning experience. And also the vibe was very good. Like, the teacher was playing some music before the class, like pretty like funky tunes, and I don't know, it was a good energy. I don't know, I thought that wrestlers would be like just like those gritty bear-like dudes and just gonna try to rip your head off, but it was actually incredibly nice, and it's a class I'm definitely gonna do again and again. I really enjoyed it. I've tried the jiu-jitsu class as well a few times, and whilst every time I do it I enjoy it, but there is something that like just freaks me out about people trying to bend my elbows and knees and like twist them in different directions, and just, I don't know, I just feel like I'm gonna get injured doing that. And people do get injured occasionally, from what I understand. But like, primarily it's just, I don't know, I just don't feel like I connect so much with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, even though the kind of things that one might find off-putting about it are like it's the same with wrestling. You're like you need to be like very close in very close contact with sweaty people, and that I feel like a lot of people would find this uncomfortable, but I don't mind it as much, to be fair. Like it's kind of I feel like it like you're you grow from that because there you have it. Like you cannot more clearly see where your comfort zone is until you like someone you've never known grabbed you and just like sticked and your head ends up between like his calf and his thigh. Then you're like, what the fuck am I doing? And I don't know. I feel like it's a good learning experience on a lot of levels. Not only when it comes to just the just self defense. I overall think it's just good. So that's that's why I'm doing it. And yeah, I would like to be a pretty competent um, amateur martial artist. I guess that's a bit of a big statement. I would like to learn a bit, yeah, maybe let's tone it down. I would like to like get a bit better at boxing, learn a bunch of things about wrestling because I feel like it's really interesting. And you know, put in some kicks, some knees, just, you know, learn a couple of skills. Now when it comes to like hard sparring or having amateur fights, I don't know about that. Like you can definitely get head trauma from because in training, people, at least in boxing, I noticed that aside of like some rare examples where someone goes a bit too hard, I have never seen, for example, anyone getting knocked out in training or like having their nose bleeding or anything like that. So it feels relatively safe, to be fair, if the gym is, if it's not a crazy gym where where the emphasis is on learning, I would say. So, but if you have an amateur fight, I think that just the way you think about it is different. You are actually trying to put that person away. So it's less about learning and more about just hurting each other. So even though I've been boxing for a few years now, on and off a bit because of the lockdowns and everything, I don't think I would want to do it just because. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just not ready for it. If you, I think I'm a chicken, and yeah. So so I've attended a bunch of classes last week, and I enjoyed all of them. Good workout. It's a really good workout because after a while, I've noticed that my body got a bit used to boxing workouts as well. In that sense, like initially I would be much more sore and just need a bit more time to recover, but now my body just flies through those workouts. Obviously I get really tired and it is an amazing workout, but don't get as sore anymore, for example, from boxing. But having tried those new things, like having done one wrestling class, my neck, man, I already feel like it bulked up. Probably not, but it definitely like different parts of your body work, which is amazing. So there's that, and then I've done three comedy gigs. I've done the Blackout show, and that's where the audience can boo you off stage after 2 minutes. So the idea is to survive for 5 minutes with your material. And it was a pretty wild night. Like the room was packed, I would say about 100 people in the crowd. And those people, mind you, they pay for tickets to watch this show, right? So if they don't like you, they have no remorse to send you away. So I've done this show a few times already, and yeah, no, on Thursday it wasn't my day. I could kind of feel it by the way the room was. They were pretty agitated and just someone needed to go and take control of the situation, and I I wasn't that person. What can I say? I just wasn't that person. First few jokes landed okay-ish, so I thought, maybe I'll have a shot, who knows. But then they kind of didn't really like my material, I think. They didn't like, I don't feel like the room connected with what I was saying. I If a few times before I've done, like, I think I've lasted way longer. I managed to get through 5 minutes once, and it was a super rewarding experience. When that many people enjoy your material that you've put an effort into writing and performing, that's an amazing feeling. So I really like coming back there and just gauging my progress. And I did try a couple of new jokes, which I haven't tried on any smaller nights before, so I knew that it probably might go a bit south quite easily. And basically that's what happened, because I think a lot of doing well as an open micer is actually presenting yourself as confident, because people are not going to be laughing at what you're saying if they feel like you're not sure that it's funny. So I think in their head they're like, bro, you've written this and you're not sure if this is funny? Like, we're not laughing at this, mate. Like, even you're not sure that it's any good. So I think that's what it is. And again, it's such a good experience. I love it. And then I've done two open mics. Pretty nice nights. Amazing crowd. The jokes that absolutely fell on its face, because I think partially because I was a bit stressed on Thursday. It really worked quite nice. So it was great. I'm gonna keep a bunch of them in my set, and just try to write new stuff and just improve on that. And last cool thing that comes to my mind from last week was that I've actually tried a Venezuelan empanada, which is different to the usual empanada. I think that at least what I thought an empanada was, because to me that was just kind of like a little deep fried puff pastry kind. Well, it's not puff pastry, but this little kind of deep fried doughy thing. I guess that's how I would describe it. But the Venezuelan one is much bigger and so cheesy and greasy. Oh, it was so good. There's this place in South London that my friend who's from Venezuela actually invited me to go to with them. And what can I tell? Like, that empanada slapped. Like, that place is now on my food map, which well, it doesn't mean a lot, but it means something to me, I guess. And yeah, I will definitely go back again. And I think that's pretty much it, really. I kind of like those. I would say those were the highlights.